Michelle, have you seen a difference on the reservation from the 3 cancer conferences we had?
Yes. I have been able to network a lot of the resources, and I have boxes stuck up in my office. The bag is from Tucson. Any patient that I see inpatient, we have a 20-bed inpatient, which I watch and kind of babysit. So I do a lot of other projects around the hospital, but I'll have people stop me and come to my office. My dad's got cancer, my mom, and I will go in and try to talk to them, speak with them, and I have people, stop at my house. Can you give me information? Do you have the resources for this? So we are seeing more services provided for our patients. One of our patients, Celine, we contacted them and they provided services and got $70,000 worth of drugs for our patients. We couldn't afford them, so we contacted the drug companies and networked them drugs. So it is working, yeah.
I'm so glad you're bringing up a couple of the really critical pieces, and I think, the rest of the panel has been touching on it also. It's really about collaboration. Not any one of us has the answers, obviously, but aside from that is that there are a lot of resources that we're learning about, that you're learning about each other, and that, I think, is really a critical factor. And I'm going to ask a couple of other people to comment, because we have a number of people who are sitting here in the audience who bring a lot of experience as well, so I'm going to put Fred on the spot. Fred Taylor is my friend, and also he has a foundation called the Southwest Prostate Foundation. And I think in terms of outreach and dealing with some of the challenges, I think it would be helpful to kind of hear another perspective.
Thank you, Barbara. Before I get into that, I just want to comment on something that Dr. Kyle mentioned. And this is one of the problems that we really have now, because if we can't get the treatment to people early enough, we're losing the battle. And with the new guidelines that came out about breast cancer, about prostate cancer, we're getting further and further away. With prostate cancer, they're no longer recommending that you get screened at 50. They're saying you start conversation with your physician. Well, all of the physicians that I know, you get 2 or 3 minutes in that office, and that is not ample time to discuss breast cancer or prostate cancer. So we're heading in the wrong direction, in the direction that they're saying women shouldn't get start getting mammograms until really they're 50, and to do away with self-examinations. The whole trend is getting us deeper and deeper in. People are going to be diagnosed with 3rd and 4th degree cancers, and there again, we're trying to turn the cost factor around as it relates to healthcare, and we're going to lose the battle because of these things. And when you factor in the obesity and overweight, 1/4 of all Americans are obese now, not overweight, obese. In some states it's 1/3. 20% of 4-year-olds in America are obese. I mean, that does not bode well for us as a country moving forward. 10 years ago, there was a study that came out, 11 years, that indicated that 1/3 of all middle and high school students were obese or overweight. Those youngsters right there were automatically eliminated from the military, from first responder jobs, and on and on. I'm not a pro-military person, period, but we need the military. But if you have a third of your total population that's going to move into that range, that's going to be eliminated from the possibility of participating in the military, that's an international problem for us. So things are going to have to change drastically if we're going to get into this. One of the things that I just wanted to touch on briefly too is that Barbara was talking about the networking situation. Enough of us, especially small foundation, we don't network enough. And there's a lot of resources. We can do more if we network. One of the things that we're doing, we have a radio show that comes on 10:10 a.m. Every Thursday. It's an hour show, and we bring anyone on that's dealing with health-related issues. Victor's been on, Barbara's been on, number of people, a number of the folks in the Arizona Cancer Coalition, Dr. Martinez has been on, and the whole idea is to get the word out about whether it's clinical trials, whether it's about screening, whatever the case might be. We have to start educating the people, because if we don't educate the people, there's a fear factor there in terms of getting involved with these things. And with the African American community, there's been a fear factor because of certain things that have happened in the past, years ago, health-wise. And they shy away, we shy away from what's going to save our lives. And we have to change that whole move. And the way we change it is through education. And the more we can educate people and head them in a different direction, then we can start, they won't be so reluctant to be involved with clinical trials. They won't wait until they have serious health problems before they show up in the doctor's office. And those are the little small things that Barbara's talking about. We work very closely together. We share ideas, we share resources whenever possible in order to make sure that we're reaching out and touching the people that really have to be helped. The more educated people, I mean education in terms of most of the people in here, that's the people that we're trying to serve, but not the people that's in this room today. We're trying to reach other people that don't have the research, don't have the educational background. And if we don't do that, we're running into a problem. There's 700,000 men in this state without insurance. 700,000. I mean, that's a huge number. Am I recommending that they all be screened? Of course not. I want to see them get educated. I want them to start eating right, dieting, exercise, the whole 9 yards. That's their way of cutting down on the health costs and making this a healthier state.
Thank you for sharing that, Fred. And again, back to the people sitting in this room, I think what our role is that we need to provide that kind of leadership, and I think it's so important that we do get together, that we have a chance like this to talk, and hopefully everyone who is here, and I want to make sure that all of you get to know each other, because that's really where the strength and where the real awareness and education occurs. And by the way, and that's why our conference tomorrow is open to everyone. And it's not like we're trying to be so exclusive here. It's just that we really need an opportunity sometimes just to sit back and, for us to have an opportunity to hear from some of the, leading people in research is important. But also because we take this information and we bring it to others. And it's kind of this 1 times 1 times 1. And tomorrow, some of the people who are here will also be speaking to the whole conference. And I've mentioned this to a couple of people tonight. We're pretty awed by the fact, and Nancy Jenkins, you can wave your hand, our administrative assistant, but has been keeping track. What were the numbers today when you left home?
I believe it was 222.
All right, 222. For some of you who put on really big conferences, this may not sound like much, but we started out 4 years ago, and I think we had 60 or 70 people, including about 20 of us who were the organization and all of our volunteers. So the fact that we're finally getting information